Okay, everyone, welcome back. This is DPP session 10, Find Time for Fitness. Of course, we remind you that because this is a recording, participants are required to give their lifestyle coach a call after the session just to review the lessons that you learned and your action plan and anything else you want to talk about from the session. And so today, with the theme of finding time for fitness, we are talking about the benefits of being active and reviewing some of what we learned in previous lessons. Then we'll talk about the challenge of fitting in fitness, how to find time for fitness, and then we'll encourage you to make another action plan.
All right, let's start with the benefits of being active. Being active can lower your risk of type 2 diabetes in two ways. Being active can help you lose weight. It can also help you lower your blood sugar. So being active can lower your risk of type 2 diabetes. So some other benefits of being active include, oh my gosh, there's so many things. We talk with better sleep and mood. It really has a big effect on those two things. It also can help improve balance and flexibility, like little things like getting in and out of a chair, putting, something heavy up on a shelf. All those things make a difference. It can lower your blood pressure and your cholesterol, and that's a really big thing for people who have heart conditions. It also can lower your risk of heart attack and stroke, again, for your heart health. And as we've learned previously, it can also lower your stress level, helps keep that cortisol down. It also gives, interestingly, you're moving and getting energy, but it also gives you more energy just because you are doing the energy. So it's kind of a cool thing that it does there. And then lastly, it can give you stronger muscles. So that makes you able to do a lot of those activities of daily living much easier.
All right, so we know that fitting in fitness can often be challenging, and we want to remind you that the goal of this program is that you achieve at least 150 minutes of activity a week. And this activity should be at a moderate pace, if not more. And so just a reminder, how do you know if it's a moderate pace? Well, you can use the talk test. So that means you can talk while you do the activity, but you can't sing while you do the activity. And so, we like to come back to these program goals to remind you of those 115 minutes because there's plenty of studies and research out there that have shown that the risk of diabetes significantly decreases with at least 150 minutes of physical activity a week. So that's why this is a big part of your goal with this program, to help you decrease that risk and prevent type 2 diabetes. And so to get into this a little bit more, we will turn to Mark's story on page 3. Let me pull that up for you guys. All right. So again, it can be challenging to find time to reach your fitness goal, and Mark's story is here for us as an example. So I'll read through this for you. Mark is at risk for type 2 diabetes. His doctor asks him to get at least 150 minutes of activity each week at a moderate pace or more. But Mark is a busy guy. On weekdays, Mark takes care of his grandkids while their parents are at work. On the weekend, he works at the library. In the evening, he likes to relax by watching TV. Mark is having trouble finding time to reach his fitness goal. Mark decides to make some changes. These days, he gets up 30 minutes sooner so he can take a morning walk. He lifts weights or marches in place while he watches TV. And then he also plays soccer with his grandkids. It's great exercise for all of them, plus it's fun. So Mark is finally reaching his fitness goals. So this is just a really great example of how Mark identified what his challenges were, and he figured out what some solutions might be, and he adapted his schedule, got up earlier. He still relaxed by watching TV, but he used that time to also move his body a little bit by marching in place or lifting some weights. And then he included his grandkids on this as well. So he was playing with them, and that helped him reach his goals. So that's really, really great.
So the next thing is just looking at is what makes it challenging to fit in 150 minutes a week. And, that's, that if you think if you're going 5 days a week, that would be 30 minutes a day. So let's look at some ways we can go about getting that. So ways to do that is, first of all, to fit it in anytime. So with the anytime, one thing you can do is schedule it. So put it in your calendar. It could be, so every day at a certain time, or you can tweak your schedule to make it happen. Use a fitness app or a tracker. It's also helpful in scheduling it if you can have like a reminder set, like it just, that kind of reminds you, oh, it's walk time. So that's always helpful. Okay, another way is to get fit in places while you're trying to get places. So when you're trying to go places, in Ukiah, we do have a bus system, but, if you are using the bus system, is get off the bus one stop early, and then walk the rest of the way. Another is, so you're in a grocery store or a place that has a very large parking lot, park, at the perimeter, and that little bit of walk, that all counts, all those little things. Walking or riding a bike, thinking about, do I need to really get in my car? I have, maybe if it's a mile or less, maybe you can walk or ride a bike to get to where your destination is. Another way things you can do while you're watching TV, because is kind of get up and move, dance, lift weights, march in place. Personally, I like using a kind of one of those exercise balls or a roller, and just kind of doing stuff on it while I'm watching TV. And it's amazing how the time goes when you're doing that, and you're still watching the show, and you're getting some activity in too. Also, you can fit in fitness while you're getting things done. You can move briskly while you are, so you're outside doing some yard work, raking the lawn, or inside sweeping the floor. You can do it while you're doing laundry or walking the dog. So all these things, you might have a certain pace you're doing them. And just by picking up the pace, just so where it's more brisk, then that's kind of going to count towards that 150 minutes of a moderate intensity. Other things you can do to fit in fitness is you can do it while you're socializing. So like joining a walking club. So that could be something like right now we have the Move Spring program, and so that's kind of like a walking club, and you can find people to walk with, to say like, okay, every day after lunch, let's go for a walk. You can take a fitness class, and as of this recording, there's not much of that happening because of COVID, but there are a lot of classes online you can find that are really good on YouTube, and you can subscribe to different trainers, and so there's some amazing stuff out there. And just calling a friend while walking, which is really nice because you kill two birds with one stone. You get to visit, and you also get some exercise in. Another way to include fitness is when you're at work. That could be like join a nearby gym. So right now that's kind of on hold, but we'll get back to it. Something you could do, like a lot of times gyms have these quick workouts you can do on a lunch break, or you could go for a walk on your lunch break. Join the fitness programs right now at Pinoleville. We have the walking group, so joining something like that, and walk while you're on a call. So like, put your earbuds in and go for a walk and take that call, if you don't have to be at a computer. So those are kind of just some suggestions, and you probably will come up with a lot more. But, you know, when we think we're at our job, we have to sit and look at a computer, but there's so many other things we can do while we're trying to find that time for fitness. The other thing is, you know, like I mentioned, 30 minutes a day, 5 days a week is going to give you that 150 minutes a week. But 30 minutes a day does not mean you have to do it in one big chunk. If it's easier for you to do 2 15-minute chunks or 3 10-minute chunks, that's fine. It's just that getting that total number of minutes in per day is what you're looking for.
All right, so Sharon walked us through a lot of tips for fitting and fitness, but just as a reminder, we do have some really great resources in your participant guide as well. So you'll see on pages 4 to 7, we have listed a lot of those tips that Sharon just talked to us about. So we encourage you after this recording to reflect on what you find challenging about fitting and fitness. So maybe journal that a little bit and come prepared to talk to your lifestyle coach about what your challenges or your obstacles are with fitness. And then we also encourage you to try some of these tips and check off which ones you use. So again, we have pages and pages of ideas for you here. And so here's a great opportunity for you to kind of journal about those challenges, obstacles, and then maybe some of those tips that have helped you to reach your goal. And again, we'll talk about it when you have your call with your lifestyle coach as you review this session. But otherwise, it is time for you to, of course, write your action plan. So remember to keep your action plan realistic, doable, specific, and flexible. We encourage you to make one about fitting and fitness. So thinking about some of those tips and how you could incorporate those as an action plan and how you can adapt and be flexible. So yeah, we really encourage you to make an effort with your fitness. Like Sharon said, maybe you're breaking down that 30 minutes, 5 days a week into 3 separate 10-minute sessions. And maybe that can be some of the specific details you write about in your action plan. Okay, when are you going to do your first 10 minutes? What about your second 10 minutes and your third 10 minutes? Really give yourself those specifics so you have a guide to follow over the next week as you follow through with your action plan. And with that, we've come to the end of our session. So today we discussed common barriers to fitness. The most popular one is time. We also talked about some benefits of being active and reviewed some of what we've talked about many times before. And then we talked about the challenge of fitting and fitness and what some of those obstacles might be for you. And then we also talked about how to find time for fitness and some of those tips and strategies for even just sneaking an extra few minutes into your day. And with that, we encourage you to complete this session by finishing this recording, writing your action plan and following through with it, and then having a call with your lifestyle coach to discuss the session and lessons learned. And then, of course, when you have that call, come ready with your weight and your physical activity data, and then you'll be done. You'll be good to go. And so with that, thank you everyone for watching this recording, and we will see you at the next one.
Thanks, everyone.